My dad went bankrupt. He married me off to a second-gen rich guy. The second-gen rich had idealized love in his heart. I was expected to clutch the money and live like a lonely widow. Great. I grabbed the cash and willingly stepped down. A year later, he drunk dialed me. Still not married? Waiting for me? Fine. I'll take one for the team, let's remarry. I looked troubled. I would. But I just had a baby. He panicked. Chapter 1. I married Ethan Yee. No wedding. No dowry. I just gave myself away. On our wedding night, he stayed out drinking with friends until late. You're back. I ran over like a loyal puppy to support him. He looked at me, a flicker in his eyes. The next second, he leaned down and kissed me. I hesitated, but didn't pull away. I even wrapped my arms around his neck, smiling sweetly. Did you wire the money to my dad? His movement paused, and he shoved me away. Luna, is that all you're worth? I stood there stunned, the words stabbing at me for a moment, but just for a moment. I quickly composed myself. I think I'm worth quite a bit. 30 million. I couldn't make that in a lifetime. Fine, then hold on to your 30 million and stay a lonely widow forever. He lost all interest, yanked off his tie, threw it on the floor, and went to the bathroom alone. I sighed, picked up the trail of clothes he left behind, tossed them into the washer, then went to sleep in my own room. Chapter 2. My dad ran a small company, but it hit a rough patch recently. We approached Ethan because my grandpa once saved his grandpa's life. His grandpa proposed marriage, and our family, overjoyed, sold me off for 30 million. Before that, I'd vaguely heard rumors about Ethan Yee. Back in school, he was a notorious campus bully. In the business world, he's a ruthless tycoon. Women constantly surrounded him, but he never got entangled with any. Once you're married, just turn a blind eye. Do your duty as a wife. That's what my mom repeatedly reminded me. I didn't dare forget. So even when he came back on our wedding night reeking of some woman's perfume, I said nothing. When the clock hit midnight and he still hadn't come to my room, I let out a breath of relief. A man who's already eaten outside won't want a second serving at home. I checked my phone, full of wedding blessings on Instagram. Thinking back on the scene earlier, I could only feel the irony. Scrolling down, I saw a familiar name, and my heart ached a little. You still love me, don't you? You're not the kind of girl who'd do it just for money. It was Hudson, my senior, my ex-boyfriend. His message was long and childish. I didn't bother to read it all, just deleted it and blocked him. Chapter 3. The next morning, I made breakfast and waited for Ethan Yee to get up. It wasn't until 10 that he finally dragged himself out of bed. I stood by his side, squeezed toothpaste onto his brush, set out his face washing water, and quietly helped him tidy his hair. He seemed a bit stunned, giving me a strange look. Being all sweet first thing in the morning, what do you want now? His voice dripped with sarcasm. No big deal. I gave him a sugary smile. We're visiting your grandpa. Remember? He gave me a blank stare. You sure don't hold back when it comes to sucking up to the old man. If you wanted, I could suck up to you too. I took a deep breath and hesitantly reached out to button his shirt. He didn't move, just lowered his eyes to watch me out of the corner of his gaze. The shirt was custom tailored, and the buttons were small. His stare made me nervous, and my hands trembled, a bit lower. It's tight, I whispered, because I was tense. My voice came out with a bit of a spoiled tone. He lowered his head, boxed me into the corner. You know what it means when a woman flirts with a man first thing in the morning? No idea. I played dumb. He didn't speak, just stared. His warm breath washed over me like fire, right as I closed my eyes. He said in a low voice, "Looking like that, you might as well write 'I want money' across your face." My heart sank. I felt humiliated. My blood pressure spiked, but I forced a smile. So are you giving it to me? I wrapped my arms around his waist. Flirtatious. Hubby. His Adam's apple bobbed. He spaced out a bit, then shoved me off in disgust. You really think you're made of gold? Touch you and I owe you? Go ahead. Try touching and see. I still kept my sweet smile. You disgust me. Clearly bored. He scoffed, pushed me aside, and walked out. Once he was gone, I finally felt like I could breathe. Chapter 4. I totally understood why Ethan hated me. Word is, he used to have a fiancée. I came along, and his family forced them apart. Now, he left early and came back late every day, never stepping into my room. So yeah, they got what they wanted. I was stuck living like a lonely widow. But it's fine. I'm not that sentimental. Love or money, you gotta secure at least one. Since love was off the table, I chose the grind. One day, he'll get tired of me, and when his family finally gives in, divorce will be inevitable. Coming back from his grandpa's house, we hadn't even parked when I saw his ex, Margarita. She wore a white dress, standing in the breeze, her long hair flying, red lips, white teeth, every bit the fragile beauty. Margarita. Ethan's eyes flashed with panic when he saw her. He instantly shook off my hand. The girl looked at me, then at him. Her eyes welled with tears. Ethan, he doesn't want me anymore. I froze. What do you mean? He doesn't want me? I stared at Ethan, shocked. So the legendary second son of the Yi family is a simp? Let's talk inside. It's windy. I opened the door and let them in. She clearly didn't like me, but that was fine. I left them the living room and went back to my room. Not sure how long they talked, but when I woke up from a nap, the living room was empty. The maid said Ethan had carried her out. She might have caught a chill and fainted. Young master. Got it. I cut her off. That night, I barely touched dinner. No appetite. Stared at my bank balance, counting the zeros again and again, still felt anxious. Ethan didn't come home that night, so I slipped into heels, a crop top, and went straight to the bar. Chapter 5. At the bar, my bestie Nicole had already been waiting. Not playing the role of a fancy housewife tonight? Out here getting drunk instead? She teased. I am playing it. My face is stuck in a fake smile every day. Making money isn't easy. She burst into laughter, hugging me tight. True, even if Ethan's hot, seeing him every day must get boring. What about Hudson? You guys still talk? Nope. I took a sip. You used to be obsessed with him, the whole school knew, and now you just married someone else like that? I paused, silent for a bit. His mom came to see me. What? What for? Offered me $5 million to leave him. Seeing Nicole's shocked face, I couldn't help but laugh. You've been watching too many dramas. She didn't give me a cent, just said my dad went bankrupt and I needed to be aware of my place. Said if people found out about us, it'd hurt their family business. What the hell? That's messed up. Your dad's bankruptcy has nothing to do with you dating him. Nicole was furious. It means a lot. Actually, besides Ethan's family, no one else dares marry me. I took another drink. I blocked Hudson. End of story. Okay. No more man talk. Let's just look at eye candy tonight. And just like that, my girl added 10 hotties to my Instagram in under 30 minutes. By the second half of the night, I was too drunk to function. One of them even took me home. I stumbled inside, reaching for the light. Before I touched the switch, a voice came from the dark. Had your fun? Finally decided to come home? I turned toward the voice. In the shadows on the couch sat Ethan, staring straight at me. My heart skipped a beat. Chapter 6. I told myself not to panic, but when I bent to change shoes, my hands shook, unsteady. I tripped and fell, straight into his lap. There went my entire virtuous lady image in one night. He looked down on me, disgusted. Luna, when your dad married you off, he said you were gentle, gracious, a proper lady. He glanced at his watch. A proper lady goes clubbing till 5 in the morning? I begged him to stop. What right do you have to lecture me? I suddenly burst into tears. Didn't you just come back from cuddling your fake innocent? I guess he didn't expect me to cry. He was caught off guard. Going all in, I climbed onto him and wailed. Get off me. He growled under his breath. I refused, wrapping my arms around his neck. You know how painful it is watching you love someone else every day? You know how scary it is sleeping alone in this huge house every night? He was pinned under me, stretching his neck away from my lips, clearly worried I'd try something crazy. You're terrifying right now, he muttered, blocking my hands. Am I that scary? Is it because you don't love me? You really don't. I acted so well. My snot came out, and I wiped it all over him. He had OCD. His face darkened instantly. Then my phone rang. He grabbed it, annoyed. Hello? Did you get home safe? You didn't reply. I was worried. A man's voice echoed in the room. Ethan's face twisted into something beyond rage. It was the guy who brought me home. Shit. I panicked. Fully. Just as Ethan was about to explode. I kissed him. Hard. He wasn't expecting it and didn't react in time. I bit him like mad. Ow. He muttered, pushing me off. I tasted blood. Did I bite him that hard? Go shower. He picked me up and dragged me into the bathroom. If you dare come home drunk like this again, I'll. Before he could finish, I threw up all over him. Yeah. He was done. He even told the maid to throw away his clothes. He gave me one last death stare before closing the door. I stood alone in the bathroom, my heart pounding so hard it echoed in my ears. Chapter 7. When I woke up the next day, it was already afternoon. Ethan Yee was gone. The housekeeper said the liquor cabinet had been cleared out overnight. He was out on business the following days. Honestly, I was pretty sure he was avoiding me. TCH. What a coward. I didn't waste my time either to stay in touch with him. I took his secondary credit card and went bag shopping. Nicole and I strolled arm in arm through the mall, chatting and laughing. When I told her how I puked all over Ethan the other night, she clapped with glee. Brilliant. That kind of jerk deserves to be vomited on. Why didn't you puke straight into his mouth when you kissed him? Me? That's disgusting. That kiss had been an accident. But thinking back, it was the first time I'd kissed a man so deeply. And when he whispered ow, my heart still fluttered thinking about it. We walked into a luxury boutique while giggling, then we saw Margarita. Our eyes met. We both froze. She worked here? Well, props to her, at least she had ambition. I suddenly felt like I was playing the evil supporting role in a drama, the one who tears apart true love. With a sigh, I walked in. Margarita approached me first. Miss Sue, what kind of bag are you looking for? Show me whatever you think is nice. We seem to have similar taste. I smiled politely at her. She twisted her fingers nervously. After a while, she brought out several bags. When she leaned down, her collar shifted and I caught sight of a hickey on her neck. My heart clenched. Stomach turned, but I kept smiling. Damn it. She had great taste. I liked every bag she showed me. This is hard. I tried each one in the mirror, over and over. If Miss Sue likes them, why not take them all? The manager chimed in. Yes, they all suit you so well, said another clerk. I can't. I have to ask my husband. No need to waste money. I pulled out my phone and dialed Ethan right there. Margarita's expression worsened. Hello? Honey, what now? I can't choose between a few bags. Can you help me decide, please? Luna, I'm in a meeting. Oh, all of them? Well, if you insist. Love you, hubby. I hung up before he could yell. Swipe the card, please. I handed it to Margarita. Oh, okay. She bit her lip and took it. Nicole stared at me, speechless. Since when did you become like this? Become what? A shameless show-off, bragging wife. I sighed. She's Ethan's white moon. You saw the hickey, right? He gave it to her. Nicole almost jumped. And you just let it go? What else can I do? Scream at her in public? So undignified. We picked up our bags and headed out. Margarita followed us to the door. Miss Sue, she hesitated. Yes? You really don't need to go this far. Ethan never liked me that way. Chapter 8. In that instant, my scalp tingled. All my arrogance fizzled out. What she meant was clear. She didn't even need to lift a finger. Ethan would come crawling to her all on his own. If you're really that free, why don't you go work at a screw factory instead of hovering around someone else's husband? Nicole shot back instantly. I didn't do anything. Margarita cried and ran off. Nicole nailed it, but I couldn't feel happy at all. She's such a pretentious coquette. And you're just gonna let her win? Ethan likes her. What can I do? Simple. Get ahead of her. Baby trap him. Seal the deal as the main wife. This isn't some emperor picking concubines. I was speechless. Is your husband out of town? Yeah. How'd you know? I overheard a clerk say Margarita's taking a few days off to go see her boyfriend. What the? Back home. I clenched my fists in rage. Then, Ethan finally called after days of silence. What stunt are you pulling today? My heart skipped. Of course, Margarita must have tattled. So now he's here to defend her? Nothing, just not used to you being gone. No laundry to do. No floors getting dirty. Breakfast goes uneaten. Feels so pointless. And? He wasn't buying it. And? Fine, I played my ultimate card. I miss you. He was silent for a second, then spoke coldly. Do you not even blush when you lie? Luna? Damn, was I that obvious? Your grandpa said you've been too busy. Not in great health. He asked me to come take care of you. Always dragging grandpa into this. Come on. What do you want now? Weren't all the bags today enough? He was so annoying. He saw through everything. Have your assistant book me a flight. I'm coming to see you. I'm working. Why would you come? To take care of you. Of course. That felt weak. So I added. Ethan, we haven't seen each other for 360 hours. I went full sentimental mode. There's no way I'd let Margarita win. I had to go secure my position as the main wife. I thought he'd be touched. But instead, we've lived together for a month. Have we even spoken? That one hurt. But he wasn't wrong. In the 2 months we'd been married, we'd barely exchanged a few words. He was avoiding me the whole time. Whatever. I'm still in a meeting. Then, click. He hung up. No mercy. Scumbag. Off living his sweet life with his white moonlight. I told myself to move on. Even grabbed a book to calm down. But by the end, I tossed the book into the fire and booked the earliest flight out. Chapter 9. After landing, I stopped by a breakfast shop and picked up something fancy for Ethan, his secretary, and his assistant. Then, in the taxi, I touched up my makeup, adding a bright pop of orange blush to look extra bubbly and fresh. Nicole messaged me on Instagram. You really went? To catch him cheating? Ugh, no. To check in, carrying my Hermes bag and strutting in 10-centimeter heels. I showed up at Ethan's hotel room right at 8 a.m. Sharp. I raised my hand to knock, but then I heard a voice inside. Ethan Broader. Thank you so much. I really wouldn't have known what to do without you. That voice. I knew it too well. My chest tightened instantly. To keep my dignity, I stood at the door for 5 whole minutes before I finally knocked. It's me. I called out. Then I waited. Standing there calmly, Ethan opened the door, clearly surprised. What are you doing here? I glanced at the bathrobe he was wearing and felt most of my fire drain out. Right after, Margarita stepped out from behind him, even though I'd already guessed it. Seeing her still gave my heart a jolt. I clenched my fists and forced a professional smile. Honey, didn't you say you missed me? So I came. I glanced past him, acting surprised. Oh, you've got company. Did I come at a bad time? Ethan said nothing. He just stared at me with that calm, unreadable gaze. Don't mind me. Go ahead and talk. I'll just sit to the side and be quiet. I smiled and walked right in. I was just leaving. I don't want to bother you too. Margarita stammered, already backing away. Wait, I called out to her. She froze, pale, trembling, eyes already welling up with tears. I looked her up and down and then smiled, handing her one of the breakfast boxes. You haven't eaten yet, right? I got one for you too. She took it like I'd handed her a live grenade. Thank you. No need. Since you call Ethan brother, you should call me sister, right? She glanced at Ethan. He stayed silent. She frowned, bit her lip, then murmured, Sis-ter. Good girl. I wrapped my arms around Ethan's arm, resting my head shyly on his chest. It's been so long since I saw your brother. We've got some catching up to do. Come visit our place in City C sometime, okay? Margarita didn't reply. She held the breakfast and wiped her tears as she ran off. Once the door was shut, Ethan looked down at me with a weird expression. Been too long? Catching up? Lots to talk about. Too much to sum up right now. I fumbled a vague answer. Should I invest in a movie for you? You could win an Oscar. Get lost. I jumped away from him like he was infected. I mean, sure. Why not? I wiped my hands with a tissue, acting aloof. But is it proper for a rich housewife to show her face in public like that? He flopped down on the sofa, totally relaxed, eyes sweeping over me. wherever you go. You're acting like a loving couple. What a waste of talent. Waste your ass. I mean it. Why do you always think I'm acting? Mr. Yi? I straightened my skirt and sat properly across from him. I unpacked the breakfast, set it all up nicely, and even prepped the straws. Eat. It'll get cold. He didn't move, just kept staring at me. His phone rang. He answered, still watching me. I caught bits and pieces. He had a busy day ahead. So I headed into the bedroom and picked out a shirt and suit for him, pairing it with a checked black tie. How about this tie? It's 8:30. Your meeting's at 9. Come on. Get changed. He didn't move, just held out his hand lazily. My first instinct was to smack it away. But good manners stopped me. I reached out to pull him, and he tugged me right into his lap. My hand slipped under his robe. I flinched. Is this why you came running here? Just to cop a feel? He laughed. So what? It's legal. I gave his abs a quick squeeze. He was speechless, eyes dazed for a moment. Honestly, your abs need work. Kinda soft. I tried to get up. Then go a little lower. He smirked. I jumped up immediately, my face burning. Get up. You're going to be late. I'll admit it, I was flustered. He stopped teasing and started dressing. I helped him, inspecting his back carefully. No marks. Surprised. Maybe, secretly pleased. You like what you see? I shook my thoughts off and helped with his tie. Seems like someone else's body is already clinging to you. I couldn't help myself. The hickey on Margarita's neck still bugged me. He grabbed my hand and muttered, nonsense. Maybe, but some girl sneaking into your room early in the morning isn't here for small talk. He froze, finally catching on. Margarita? Oh, please. Who knows? She's my brother's girlfriend. He pulled away, tying his tie himself, voice a little flat. Why are you jealous? His brothers? Did I misunderstand? But then, why did he look upset? I wanted to ask more, but he had to leave. He probably wouldn't answer anyway. What time will you be back tonight? I asked as I walked him to the door. Why? I get bored alone. He looked at me for a while, sighed. I told you not to come. Why'd you show up? If I didn't, that green tea would be in your bed by now. Give it 2 weeks and I'd be in the civil office trading a red marriage certificate for a green divorce one. Because I missed you. I'm waiting for you. I tiptoed up and kissed his cheek. He stared at me, not saying anything. Just when I was about to pull away, he wrapped his arms around me and kissed me. Totally unexpected. My heart sped up. My brain blanked out. He pinched my waist with a wicked grin. If you're gonna act, go all the way. Can't half-ass it after coming all this way. Then he left with his assistant, and I stood there, stunned. This damn man. But, why did I kind of like that? Chapter 10. After Ethan left, I sat in the hotel room rereading a message. Miss Sue, if you divorce Mr. Yi now, you'll get very little, just tens of thousands. The marriage has only lasted 2 months, and Mr. Yi notarized his premarital assets. I had texted Lawyer Tan while standing outside Ethan's door. 5 minutes of them being sweet inside, and I had already planned for the worst. Only a few tens of thousands? Unacceptable. How do I get more? I texted, buy property, land, or valuables. Anything bought during marriage is joint. Or, have a child. Great. All I had were a few bags and dresses. Nicole called. Did they do it? No clue, but Ethan said Margarita is his brother's girlfriend. We broke it down like a crime scene. Turns out, Margarita is a relative, raised with both brothers. She liked the older brother, Cameron. Ethan liked her. She friend-zoned Ethan. Nicole was screaming. He's a loyal wolf dog in love. Luna, you're his Mary Sue savior. You've read too many CEO dramas. And now you'll suffer in silence while he pines for his white moonlight and raises someone else's kid. God, she might be right. Ethan hadn't touched me in 2 months. Barely a kiss. Chapter 11. That night, Ethan Yi came home late. I wasn't asleep, just sitting in the living room waiting for him. Still up? He asked, loosening his tie and taking off his coat, clearly in a bad mood. I perked up and walked over to take his coat. Rough day? He ignored me, walked to the coffee table, and poured himself some water. I rushed over and offered him a glass myself. He gave me a strange look. Want me to give you a shoulder rub? I'm pretty good at it. He sat on the couch and gave me a long stare. Luna, I'm exhausted. There's no one else here. Drop the act. I'm just doing my duty as a wife. Can't you just enjoy it? I snapped, glaring at him while massaging his shoulders. How exactly am I supposed to enjoy that? He said weakly, the smirk on his face infuriating. I froze. Honestly, I was weighing my options. You didn't ask your assistant to book a separate room? He changed the subject. Wouldn't that be a waste? I forced a smile. He didn't respond, just smiled faintly. Later, we washed up and got ready for bed like everything was normal. We ended up lying in bed together. He didn't make any move. In fact, he seemed ready to pass out. I was completely crushed. A stunning beauty like me lying right next to him. And he didn't even flinch? Pretending to sleep? Unbelievable. He clearly had someone else in his heart, clinging to his precious white moonlight. Why should he get his way? I wasn't about to let him have it that easy. He's good-looking and built well, enjoying him as my legal right. I turned over and scooted closer, whispering, Ethan. His voice was sleepy and dazed. Want a kiss? I asked. He paused, finally opened his eyes, and his peach blossom gaze pierced through the darkness. What now? Your grandpa said he wants a great-grandchild. I declared boldly. He kept staring at me. After a while, he finally said, Not tonight. Rejected, even with my thick skin. I felt humiliated. Fine, I'll ask again tomorrow. I turned away like nothing happened, but I was grinding my teeth. This is tragic. Not only did I get nothing out of the marriage, now I'm practically a widow in bed too. I just wanted a little fun, and still got turned down. We're adults. I never claimed to be some chaste fairy. And honestly, I lied. His abs feel really good. I'm guilty. Come here. He suddenly sighed and pulled me closer. What do you want? Don't mess with me. I already see you as the enemy. It's midnight. I've got a meeting at 6 in the morning. He said seriously. So, want me to get up and buy you breakfast? See? I'm pathetic. No money. Still playing the dutiful wife. Being his errand girl. Who asked for breakfast? He snapped. I'm just saying, if you want something, better hurry. I was stunned. What was I supposed to do next? Work all day. Overtime at night. What do I owe you? He grumbled, unbuttoning his shirt. Why did it feel like the roles were reversed? This isn't how the story is supposed to go. We could skip the unbuttoning. I whispered. Luna, what's the rush? I wanted to melt from embarrassment. Thank God the lights were off. Enough talk. I kissed him. Wait. He stopped me. What now? He really was full of conditions. I'll call my assistant, get some supplies. I froze. Did he want the whole world to know? No need. I'm fine. I declared confidently. He sighed. It's not fair to you. Too much chatter. I kissed him again. Halfway through, he told me to hold on. I can handle it. I'm good to go. I said eagerly. In the end, I kicked him off the bed. I'm really tired. I'm going to sleep. He ended up on the couch. Chapter 12. The next morning, he held me in his arms, kissing my hair with a softness that felt almost unreal. Hubby, I cooed, arms around his neck. The beach villa's so far from downtown. Shopping's a pain. And? He lowered his gaze, eyes locked on mine. I heard there's a new courtyard house development in the second ring, white walls, gray tiles, garden pavilions, totally your style. I traced circles on his chest with my finger, acting sweet. Really? Then shall I buy you one? He smiled. Oh, it must be super expensive. I couldn't possibly. I said, grinning inside. Then he snapped. Luna Sue, you sweet-talk me and crawl into my bed just for a house? He threw off the covers and got up, heading straight to wash up. No, I swear, you've got it all wrong. What am I to you? A machine you can milk for sex and real estate? As he tied his tie, I half expected him to strangle me with it. Why was he the one mad? I should be mad. Ethan, be clear, who was the one getting wrecked last night? I feel disgusted. With that, He grabbed his coat and left. Didn't even glance back. I sat there in total shock. 2 hours passed, and I still couldn't figure out how things escalated like that. A house was nothing to him. Did he really have to blow up? No sympathy, no tenderness, just walked out like I was trash. Rich men really are the stingiest. I texted, no reply. Called, always in a meeting or busy, avoiding me like the plague. Hit it and quit it. Huh? Another failed plan, not a single gain. When I finally got through to him, hubby, wanna grab dinner tonight? Luna, next time you want something, just say it, don't play games. I was livid. It felt awful to throw myself at him and get iced like this. I'm saying it now, so will you buy it or not? That'll be 100 million. He paused. You think you're worth that much? I was speechless. And then I hung up. Chapter 13. Staying in that hotel was pointless. I figured, screw it, let the world burn, I'm swiping cards and giving up on humanity. I booked the most luxurious business class flight back to City C, using Ethan Ye's secondary credit card like a pro. That evening, he finally messaged me on Instagram. Didn't we agree to have dinner together? Where are you? I stared at the screen and snorted. What's this? Post-coital regret time? Missing me during your cool-down phase? I went back to City C. I replied. 1 second later, his tone turned icy. Luna Sue, I'm busy every day. I carved out time to have dinner with you. Don't mess with me. Mess with you? Oh honey, if I did, you wouldn't survive it. Wanna have dinner in the cloud, babe? I started a video call. Put our teddy dog in front of the camera. Let him dine with his own kind. Luna, what's your problem? He snapped. Don't be mad, darling. Anger hurts the liver. If you die young, who'll spend your money for you? That's giving me anxiety. You seriously gonna talk like this forever? If you don't like it, I'll just be mute from now on. He didn't reply again. And just like that, we entered a 2-week Cold War. I shopped, ate like royalty, lived my best petty life. He had planned to head to another city afterward, wasn't due back in City C for a month. But surprise, he came back early. And of course, it was the one night I was at a class reunion with Nicole. He called me. We need to talk. Can we do this tomorrow at 10? I'm super sleepy. Sleepy? Your Instagram location says KTV. Crap. I hung up and immediately deleted my story. Nicole asked, what's wrong? He's back and saw I was at a KTV at night. Bye-bye perfect wife image. Since when are you so scared of him? You're not even drinking. I'm not scared. I've just given up on this marriage. Everyone at the reunion was so impressed I married into a wealthy family. Even our old teachers treated me like a VIP. If only they knew. Still, you two are married. Maybe talk it out. He likes someone else. I've got no leverage. True. Nicole nodded. So, anything happened this last trip? I looked away. Don't bring it up. That bad? I sighed. Before him, I thought I had self-control. And now? Put a handsome man in front of me. Half asleep. Great body. It's hard to resist. Nicole choked on her drink laughing. I just stared at her blankly. Is it that funny? When she finally calmed down, she winked. So, how was it? Overrated. Don't buy into romance novels. I gestured vaguely. She caught on immediately. No way. Was he bad? He wasted that pretty face. That's for sure. But I heard, it takes practice. I rolled my eyes. Just then, a voice called out, Luna Sue. I looked up. Hudson, my ex, the ghost I couldn't shake. He looked thinner, more tired. Only 3 months and he was a different man. Hudson. Nicole froze too. Can I talk to Luna alone? Sure. Nicole gave me a good luck with that look and left. He sat down across from me, eyes red. It's been a while. Why are you here? I asked at the same time. Awkward silence. How've you been? Fine. Just say what you want to say. Chapter 14. I looked at him quietly. Hudson didn't beat around the bush. Did my mom talk to you? He asked. Sadness in every word. Yes, I replied honestly. That's why you broke up with me? Part of the reason, not all of it. He stood there, taking a deep breath. You know, at first, I thought you were just messing with me, but when you stopped arguing and calmly blocked me, that's when I knew you really meant it. For the longest time, I couldn't figure it out, until I found out my mom had talked to you. She made you leave, right? This is all my fault. I didn't protect you. And with that, he started crying, a tall guy, over 6 feet, standing in front of me sobbing like a kid. It was hard to watch. I had loved him once. I handed him a tissue. There wasn't much else I could do. His mom's voice echoed in my memory. Luna, girls like you don't belong in our world. Be grateful for the money he spent on you. If he keeps you outside the family's eyes, fine, but you'll never marry into us. That night, I cried for hours. I texted Hudson, what if your mom doesn't approve of us? He replied, I don't know. That was it. That was when I knew. What was the point of marrying a coward? To suffer more? If I convince her, can we be together again? He asked suddenly. I was stunned. It was so ridiculous. I almost laughed. Hudson, I'm married. I showed him my ring. But you don't love him. You can lie to everyone else, but not to me. You don't love him. So what? I don't love Ethan, and he doesn't love me. That's fair. But I loved you, and what did I get? Humiliation, weakness. Leave him. Be with me again, he begged, gripping my hand. My head throbbed. Was he still this immature? Sure, go tell your mom to give me half of your family's shares. He froze, stared at me for a full minute. Luna. I can't decide that. My mom would never agree. Ask for something else. Please. I took a deep breath. Hudson, you say you love me, but what do you love me with? Words? Sorry. I'm too old for fairy tale love now. I pulled my hand away, ready to leave. He hugged me from behind. Please. I love you. Don't go. And just then, the door opened. Ethan stood there in the dim light, his face unreadable. Am I interrupting? My heart sank. His disappointment was obvious. Just letting you know I won't be back for a month. Feel free to catch up with your ex. He turned and left. Panic surged through me, but I kept my face calm. Let go of me. No. Chapter 15. As Ethan walked away, I stopped thinking. I shoved Hudson aside, literally kicked him, and ran after Ethan. He moved fast. By the time I got outside, he was already in the elevator going down to the garage. I hit the button for the other elevator in a panic. Of course, it stopped on every single floor. People getting on, getting off. The world had clearly conspired against me. It took me 10 full minutes to get down there. I started calling him. No answer. Yup, he was mad. I was about to hang up when I heard a faint ringtone echoing from the garage. I followed it and found his car. No headlights. Just him, sitting quietly in the back seat. Shadows cast across his face. He looked dark, broody, like he didn't want to be seen, but still stayed. When our eyes met, he lifted his head. I ran over and opened the door. Waiting for me? I slipped inside. No answer. He even shifted away from me, turning to face the window. The driver pulled out and we drove toward home. The silence was painful. I kept trying. You came back early? Done with work? Nothing. Tired? I'll give you a shoulder rub when we get home. Nothing. You said you wanted to talk. About what? Still nothing. Ethan. I'm cold. I whined. He didn't turn around, just rolled his window up a bit more. I want your jacket. I tugged lightly on his sleeve. Forget it. He finally spat. I might catch a cold. I pouted. He snapped. Turn up the heat. He told the driver. Ice King. I gave up and crossed my arms. The silence lasted the whole ride home. At the house, he went straight to his room. I followed. But when I stepped in, he turned sharply. Get out. We're married. And when you were cuddling your old flame, did you remember that? You're smart. Ethan, can't you tell it was a misunderstanding? He threw his coat. A misunderstanding? He said he loves you, said to divorce me. I heard it. He hugged you. You didn't push him away. What's next? He strips you down and you still call it a misunderstanding? He lost it. Pinned me to the wall, hands over my head. and kissed me. Hard. It wasn't romance, it was rage. I couldn't breathe. I pushed him. Nothing. I bit him. That worked. He let go. And what about you and Margarita? I asked, smiling bitterly. What if she told you to divorce me? He paused. She's different. Oh, how so? I never dated her. Never? Or you wanted to and didn't get the chance? He didn't reply, just stared at me. Finally, he stepped back. Can you stop being dramatic? You wanted the marriage. You wanted the sex. Excuse me. He was playing victim now? Well, guess what? Now I don't want it. I spun on my heel and stormed off to my room. Let him stew. Chapter 16. Ethan Yee and I entered yet another long stretch of Cold War. Separate rooms, separate lives. We didn't interfere with each other. Funny thing was, I used to be able to handle it when he ignored me, but ever since that night, just being in the same space as him felt suffocating, so I made an excuse about wanting to spend time with his grandfather, and then I just stayed. I moved in with Grandpa and never looked back. Maybe I was just holding in too much anger, or maybe it was guilt, pride, or bitterness, stuck right in my chest like a stone. I had no appetite lately, and even breathing felt tight. In a whole month of his business trip, we hadn't seen each other once, and the only phone contact we had, maybe once or twice, if that. One day, he called Grandpa. I happened to be sitting right next to him, helping with a game of Go. Grandpa, cheerful as always, handed me the phone with a big grin. Come on, say hi, he said. Honestly, I was dying of awkwardness. So, you ran off to my grandpa's? His voice sounded unfamiliar, like it had aged in just a month. I kept it short. I'm coming back next week. Okay, you're not coming home? I'd feel bad leaving Grandpa alone. He's gotten used to having me around. Why would I go back? To sit in that giant house alone while he ignored me? No thanks. Why do you keep bothering the old man? I don't bother Grandpa. Would you rather I go home and bother you? Silence. Then a sigh. I'm hanging up. He'd been calling Grandpa more often than usual lately. And somehow, every time he called, I just happened to be sitting there with him, playing Go. What kind of garbage move is that? Grandpa snapped at him over the phone. You only come home once a month? You might as well stay out forever. I'll pretend I never had a grandson. Busy? Busy with what? Are you short on money or short on brains? Why don't you marry your money and live alone forever? He absolutely tore into Ethan. After he hung up, Grandpa turned to me with a smile. Luna, don't you worry. If that brat dares to bully you, I'll break his legs. What could I say? That I was hiding out here just to avoid him? The next day, I was with Grandpa again, playing Go. I didn't really know how to play, just enough to keep him happy. I was about to lose miserably. Again. Grandpa, can I take that move back, please? He held down my hand, stopping me. Absolutely not. Life doesn't have an undo button. I sighed. He had a point. Ethan, why are you back? I blurted, eyes wide in fake surprise. Grandpa turned to look, following my gaze. While he was distracted, I swapped 2 pieces on the board in 1 sneaky second. When Grandpa turned back, the whole game had changed. I had somehow, miraculously, reversed the situation. Where is he? Grandpa looked around. Aw, must have been seeing things. I miss him so much I'm hallucinating, I said, sticking out my tongue like a love-struck fool. I could have sworn he squinted through his reading glasses at the board. This white stone wasn't there before. This black one too. Did I remember wrong? Maybe you just got confused? I chuckled inside. Smooth. Luna, real smooth. Sigh. I must be getting old. Go ahead. It's your move. Okay. Grandpa, I placed a white stone, full of confidence. You, come here. That voice hit like lightning. I froze. Ethan? I looked up and saw him standing right behind me, still in a suit, looking like he had come straight from the airport. Chapter 17. It had been a while since I'd seen him, and damn it, he still looked so good it hurt. My heart actually skipped a beat. I'm playing chess, I said, trying to sound chill. Weren't you the one who said you missed me so much? He asked. Eyes dark and unreadable. Come here. Hey, kid. What kind of tone is that with your wife the second you show up? Grandpa cut in, clearly annoyed. Ethan didn't even blink. At least you admit she's my wife. He shot back with a cocky smirk, then bent down, grabbed my hand, and started dragging me away. Grandpa. He must have missed me terribly. I'll be back to finish the game with you soon. I smiled at the old man, trying to smooth it over. Grandpa looked pleased, nodding with a knowing grin. Of course he was satisfied. Ethan didn't let go of my hand until we were tucked behind a corner of the garden. You really dared to take my place in a game with my grandfather? I don't even know how to play chess. I muttered, caught red-handed. I was just trying to make a good impression. He snorted. You really go all in when it comes to winning over elders, don't you? Whatever. I'm leaving. I turned to go, annoyed, but he grabbed my hand again, pulled me in close, voice low and teasing. Weren't you the one who missed me so much you had Grandpa call me back? If I don't let you take advantage of this, I'd be the bad guy. It's broad daylight. What are you trying to pull? I tried to pull away. He stepped in, cornering me against a rosebush. Thorns poked my back. No escape. That depends. What do you want to do to me? He whispered, wrapping an arm around my waist, shielding me from the thorns. His smile was wicked. I don't want anything, I protested, while very much drooling internally. You sure didn't act so cold the other night when you were all over me. He chuckled, low and dangerous. I couldn't speak, could barely breathe. There are people around, I shouted in panic. Chapter 18. I tried to push him away. Ethan, of course, didn't move. He didn't even care that Uncle Wong, the gardener, was walking by with a watering can. Instead, he casually shifted his body to block my face from view. Back already? Uncle Wong called out, friendly as always. Uncle Wong, watering the flowers again? Ethan greeted him like nothing was happening. Right. You go do your thing. Sure. I nearly died from the awkwardness. Uncle Wong had looked at me and I could feel what he was thinking. Meanwhile, Ethan shamelessly kept one arm around me. What are you so afraid of? He asked, amused. Weren't you the one always wanting to show off our loving relationship? I'm giving you a chance. What? Now you're scared? Scared? Me? I refused to admit defeat. Unlike some people, I'm not the one who spent all night asking if this would be bad for my health. He froze, his ears turned red. Luna. I didn't have any experience before, okay? He grumbled. How long are you going to tease me for that? I quickly pushed him away and created some space between us. I'm not teasing, I'm just stating facts. Then I fled back into the room, but I hadn't expected him to follow me in. I flopped onto the sofa and played with my phone. He picked up a random book and sat down, flipping it open like he owned the place, which, technically, he did. This had been his childhood room. I had stayed in this room every time I visited Grandpa Yi, but I never went through his stuff. I didn't read much. I never touched his books or poked around. Can't you read somewhere else? I asked, exasperated. He didn't even look up. This is my room. Yeah, but it's broad daylight. And if someone sees us alone in here together, they'll get the wrong idea. What idea? He swapped to another book and settled in more comfortably, now wearing loungewear like he had no plans to leave. You know what idea? I was starting to lose it. Voices drifted in from outside, Grandpa chatting with a few relatives. I held my breath, trying to keep quiet. Meanwhile, Ethan couldn't have cared less. He finally put his book down and looked at me, just stared, for a whole 30 seconds, and said, nothing. Forget it. I didn't want to waste words on him. I grabbed my phone and made a move to leave, but right as I passed by, my foot snagged something, and I crashed straight into him. He groaned slightly, brows furrowed in pain. You trying to prove what people are going to misunderstand? I bounced off of him like I'd been electrocuted. It was a slip, I explained quickly. Slip? Huh? Or are you all desire but no guts? He shook his head, going back to his book. I just got home. I'm tired. Maybe later. Was this guy serious? Did he really think I was just some desperate nympho? Do I give off that vibe? I needed to flip the script. You know, in novels, the male leads can go for 3 days and nights. You might want to get yourself checked out. Then I turned dramatically and made to leave, but he grabbed my hand. The next second, I was pulled right into his lap. I opened my mouth to say something. Don't try reverse psychology. Doesn't work on me. He stared me down with those fox-like eyes. His face was so close, his lips even closer. My brain short-circuited. One phrase came to mind, a menace to society. Then, on impulse, I kissed him. Just one light kiss on the lips. Does that method work on you? I grinned. He blinked. Stunned, his eyes slowly fogged with something unreadable. What are you trying to do, Luna? He muttered, turning his face away. Why so cold? Fine. What could I do? In broad daylight? I stood up and started heading out. Then he looked up at me, lips curling slightly. You think I can't handle you? Relax. I've got more than enough strength to deal with you. Sure. I believe you. 100%. I rolled my eyes. You're asking for it. He tossed his book aside. The next moment, everything went dark. He kissed me. Hard. My mind crashed. After a few seconds, he pulled back and looked at me, smirking. So, want to keep going? My heart was a wild mess. I felt like I was going insane. And no, I'm good. I tried to flee. This time I'd gone too far. Liar. He pulled me back in and kissed me again. Just as my brain turned to goo, we heard it. Clack, the sound of the door opening. Auntie Luna, where's the Ultraman you promised me? A child's voice called out. A little boy ran into the room. He was just about to jump into my arms when he froze. He saw Ethan and me kissing. His round eyes went back and forth between us, full of innocent suspicion. It was Dobao, Ethan's cousin's son. Ethan and I jumped apart like we were teenagers caught by a teacher. Dobao, go check the sofa downstairs. It's probably there, I said quickly, smoothing my hair and trying to smile. Oh, looked at Ethan, then at me. Uncle, were you two fighting? Don't bully Auntie Luna, okay? We weren't, Ethan said, half laughing and half exasperated. Go on, out. Okay, Dobao pouted and waddled off, clearly confused. Chapter 19. At dinner, Grandpa scolded Ethan for never being home. I kept my head down, quietly enjoying the moment. Grandpa, a man's career comes first. Ethan works hard outside to support the family. I chimed in, defending him. The family looked at me with praise. Only Luna has a good temperament. What other rich young lady would tolerate this? Exactly. Luna Sue is educated, graceful, and always comes home to visit us elders. She's so filial, not like Ethan. Ethan kept a faint smile on his lips the entire time. I wasn't sure he was even listening, because every time I made the slightest move, he was watching me. When I reached for glass noodles, he wrapped them with a fork and placed them beside me. When I wanted lobster, he peeled it slowly and put it in my bowl. When I reached for a napkin, it was already beside my hand. Until... No wonder Luna's belly hasn't shown any signs after 3 months of marriage. How would anything happen if he's never home? Ethan's expression finally shifted. We've only been married 3 months. Don't rush us. He sighed helplessly. Just then, little Dobao blurted out mid-bite. Mommy, you said we can only kiss friends on the cheek. But just now I saw Auntie and Uncle kissing on the lips. I almost choked on my food. More than a dozen eyes turned to stare at me and Ethan. The awkwardness was unbearable. I glanced at Ethan. He seemed completely calm, just smiling helplessly. Kids shouldn't talk nonsense. Eat your food, one of the adults quickly said. I'm not making it up. Auntie was sitting on Uncle's lap and Uncle was MMPH. Before he could finish, someone covered his mouth just in time. My face burned red, all the way to my ears. Kill me now. They're newlyweds. It's understandable, someone said to ease the tension. I wanted to disappear. I buried myself in my food. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. Ethan, don't eat cilantro. Me, huh? Ethan, I don't like the smell. Me, what's it got to do with me? Ethan, if you want to get in my room tonight, don't eat it. Me, excuse me? He was so random. I intentionally picked up a bunch of cilantro, and he just took the whole plate away. You. I glared at him, but not wanting to argue in front of the family. I forced a smile and endured it. After dinner, naturally, I shared a room with Ethan. He tried going to the guest room but was scolded back by Grandpa, so we ended up in the same room, staring at each other awkwardly. You don't dare go against your grandpa? I asked, a little annoyed. Yeah, he's scary. You saw that, he said with a helpless look. So how are we sleeping tonight? Just thinking about that last time in the hotel, how he tormented me, I got chills. And how he acted so cold and sarcastic the next morning. This time, I was determined not to play the fool again. You take the couch, I'll take the bed, he said, grabbing his clothes. Why? Because it's my room, he pointed to the layout. And the couch is too short, I don't fit. Are you even a man, letting me sleep on the couch? He smiled. You know the answer to that. Get lost. I grabbed my clothes and headed to the bathroom. After showering, I lay on the couch. Suddenly, I felt nauseous and rushed to the bathroom. Ethan was still inside showering. No time to care. I banged on the door. Open the door, open up. What's wrong? I'm gonna throw up. Open up now. I covered my mouth, barely able to speak. Luna, I'm in the shower. Can you not right now? I'm not trying to see you. I'm really unwell. You sure? You want to come in now? Positive. Then the door opened. I rushed to the sink and started gagging. But after a full minute, nothing came up, just saliva. I looked up at him. He was behind me, wrapped in a towel, hair still covered in suds, watching me with a meaningful expression. I wasn't lying, I really felt sick. And then? He clearly didn't believe me, and I had no way to prove it. Great, whatever. Keep showering, I mumbled, embarrassed, and started to walk out. I even closed the door for him. But standing outside a few seconds later, the nausea hit again. I knocked again. This time, he opened immediately. Come in. He went back to showering like he'd resigned himself to fate. I started. But the nausea had passed. You only get sick outside the bathroom? That actually made sense. Steam filled the room. A few minutes later, I started getting a nosebleed. Panicking, I grabbed tissues to stop it. Lean back. Ethan came over and gently supported my head, pressing a cold towel to the back of my neck. Don't move. He looked totally calm, but I wanted to die of embarrassment. Does this happen a lot? He asked. Huh? You get nosebleeds from looking at hot guys? My face turned crimson. And no, maybe too many chips today. Too much heat. I tried to explain. He lowered his eyes and stared at me. Too much heat? Want me to help cool you down? No, thanks. I covered my nose and bolted for the door. But suddenly, I was lifted into his arms. Don't sleep on the couch anymore. He carried me to the bed. After washing up, he lay down next to me. I was so nervous my heart was pounding. Chapter 20. What happened afterward was natural. He held my face with tenderness and focus, kissing me deeply, and I didn't resist. When are you coming home? He murmured between kisses. Huh? You're never home anyway. What's the point of me going back? I grumbled. This is my grandpa's house, he said, pausing to look at me. You planning to live here forever? It's nice here, someone to talk to. Mall just down the street. Easy shopping. Honestly, the real reason was that Ethan's grandfather adored me. I was genuinely happy here. He stared at me in silence for a while, then sighed and lowered his voice. It's inconvenient here. Inconvenient? I think life here is super convenient. He gave me a look, as if holding something back. There are kids around. You never know when one might walk in. You really think that's convenient? Realizing what he meant, my brain overheated. I couldn't say a word. He pulled me into his arms and kissed my forehead. Go home tomorrow. He coaxed gently. I was about to say yes, all muddled from his kisses. Then his phone rang. At first, he didn't want to answer, but one glance at the caller ID changed his mind. What is it? It's late. If you're drunk, get someone to take you home. Don't do anything stupid. I heard everything. It was Margarita. The chill that spread through my heart was immediate. After the call, he seemed distracted, distant. "You're not going to her?" I asked. From what I heard, she'd gone drinking at a bar and couldn't get home. So she called him. No. His interest faded instantly. He pulled away and just laid there, silent, staring at nothing. "What if something happens to her?" I asked again. "That's on her. I can't take care of her forever." He sighed. "Talking about another woman with your husband? Really awkward." I hesitated, unsure how to keep this conversation going. "Do you still like her?" I asked. I had heard about Ethan and Margarita long before. They said Ethan had liked her for years. If he hadn't married me, maybe they'd already have a child. He turned his head, glanced at me, then got up and walked to the balcony to smoke. "Not really," he said, sounding helpless. My heart skipped. He continued. "Luna, you can't expect me to have never liked anyone before you. That's not something I can control. I met her first." "Then? Why weren't you together before?" I asked, suddenly feeling like the other woman, the one who broke them apart. "We grew up together. Same school, same classes. She chased me, asked me to be her boyfriend. After a week, she dumped me. She said she liked me because I looked like my older brother, but she couldn't lie to herself anymore. Funny, right? Are all women like this? Once they get what they want, they don't care anymore? You're like that too." He laughed at himself. "How did this become about me? I never wronged you." "You didn't? After the deed, you turned cold, either asking for handbags or a house. If I didn't buy, you ignored me. And you think you're so pure?" I was stunned. In his version, I was the jerk. It took me a while before I could speak. "So what about now? Do you still like her?" If he did, I could let it go. I'd walk away. "No, I'm just tired." When he said he was tired, I saw real disappointment in his eyes. He ended up telling me a lot about his childhood. "Mostly?" I asked. He gave short replies. "Let's not talk about her." "Because it hurts?" He looked down at me. "I'm worried you'll be the one hurt." "I don't mind." "Really? Not even a little? You're not jealous?" He looked puzzled. "Why should I be?" I asked. And for some reason, that question ticked him off again. "Right. All you care about is money." Huh? Why are we back to this again? I was truly speechless. Weren't we just talking about Margarita? I was even trying to comfort him. Now he was turning on me. "You really love money that much?" he asked. "Who doesn't?" I smiled faintly. His face turned darker. "Then why don't you marry the richest man on earth?" "He's richer than me." "Ethan, you're being ridiculous," I replied, thinking for a moment. "Besides, I don't know him." "Oh, so you would if you had the chance?" He scoffed. "Enough. I don't want to talk anymore." Why did every conversation with him end in a fight? He ignored me. "You still want a kiss or not?" "If not, I'm going to sleep." He was so hard to please. "Forget it," he replied coldly. I was speechless. After a few minutes of tense silence, I couldn't take it. I turned toward him and tried to make peace. "Ethan, honestly, you're even more difficult than my younger brother, and you're only 3 days younger than me." "Who's younger than you?" "I was born 2 weeks late." He was still grumpy. "That still counts. I'll call you my little brother from now on." "Little brother?" He laughed in disbelief, then suddenly pounced and kissed me hard. "You're asking for it. You're the one asking for it. I'm older than you, just call me big sis." "What's the big deal?" "Say that one more time." He narrowed his eyes. I grinned. "Luna Sue has never been afraid of anyone." "Little brother." "Oh yeah." His expression shifted. He pinned my hands above my head. "Little brother, here to serve you." Sis. Chapter 21. The next day, I woke up and it was already noon. He was long gone. At lunch, I couldn't avoid the teasing from Ethan's relatives. Young people these days stay up all night, sleep all day. Newlyweds reunited after a short time apart. Of course they'd be enthusiastic. Everyone had that look, you know the one. "I just stayed up playing games," I mumbled. "Auntie, what game? Can I play too?" Dobao asked innocently. "You're too young." His mom scolded. Why? Kids shouldn't ask. My heart was pounding the whole meal. As soon as it was over, I fled back to the room. Even Grandpa tactfully said I could skip chess with him and rest. Sitting in Ethan's room, I fell deep into thought. I had to go home. Even someone with skin as thick as mine was starting to crack under all this. I started packing and messaged Ethan. I'm heading back tomorrow. Anything you want me to bring? Ethan, you're up? Feeling okay? I'm fine. Ethan, no discomfort? You said your stomach felt off yesterday. Want to see a doctor? Probably something I ate. I'm okay now. Ethan, all right. Get some rest. I'll pack when I get home tonight. Okay. That little exchange, his concern, warmed me. Even though we started off in a marriage of convenience. No expectations. Everything was beginning to change. I started to wonder, did he maybe, just maybe, like me a little? Why else would he be so gentle, so thoughtful? With nothing to do, I suddenly felt curious about his childhood. Can I look at your old stuff? Ethan, why? I'm bored. Ethan, go ahead. Then get some sleep. So I started going through some of his things. Then a photo slipped out from between the pages of a high school Chinese textbook. The girl in the photo was Margarita, wearing her school uniform, hair in a high ponytail, laughing with a classmate. Only her profile was visible. It was obvious the photo was taken by Ethan. I didn't know if it was because the photo was so beautiful, or because it was his photo. But I felt an ache in my chest. I picked up the textbook out of curiosity. In the middle, I found a note. Can you stop smiling at everyone else and smile at me instead? Even if I know that smile isn't really meant for me, just for the person I remind you of. My heart tightened. I hesitated a second and kept flipping. Today, you came to me and worked on homework with me, but you kept glancing at the door. I knew who you were looking for. You were looking for him. After that, I never studied with you again. You asked me why. I don't want to be someone's backup. When my brother went abroad, I thought you'd give up. I hoped. I asked you what college you wanted to apply to. You said, abroad. I knew then. It was time to let go. I couldn't read anymore. I closed the book quickly. I thought about messaging him. But what was I even going to say? What's this? High school heartbreak? It'd only make me look ridiculous. After some inner turmoil, I flipped to the last few pages. You told me you wouldn't be with my brother anymore. You ran to me crying, cursing him, telling me everything he'd done to hurt you. I ached for you. I said I'd be your boyfriend. That night, you didn't reply to my messages. I thought I scared you. The next day, you laughed and told me you got back together with my brother. You asked me to wish you well. Graduation. Finally. I don't have to like you anymore. That feels nice. I couldn't stop the tears. I was heartbroken for him. How could Margarita treat him like that? She played with him, then and now, calling him every other day, using his past feelings as leverage. I called Nicole and told her everything. Nicole was furious. That pretentious coquette Margarita. I'm gonna lose it. How can she toy with our little Ethan like that? As the rightful queen, you have to do something. Time to put her in her place. Chapter 22. Thanks to Nicole hyping me up, I got Margarita's number and asked her to meet me at a cafe. She showed up in, of course, a white dress, looking as demure as ever, like the poster child for innocence. You want me to leave Ethan? She asked, voice gentle. Then tell him to stop liking me. My heart's always been with his brother. He knows that. I didn't reply. I just sipped my coffee, watching her little act unfold. If you're here because I showed up in his room that morning, I can explain. She continued. I only went to ask him for his brother's contact info. I pushed him away. Nothing happened. Still, I stayed silent, pressed a finger to my temple as if nursing a headache. Why do men always fall for this type? Ethan was a top-tier simp. I almost wanted to clap for his consistency. Do you like him? I cut to the chase. She hesitated. No. More honest than I expected. Then why go crying to him over every tiny thing? We grew up together. He's my best friend. She said weakly. How touching. What a lovely little narrative. Childhood friends. Loyal to the end. Perfectly platonic. I could puke. You know he likes you, but you keep him around. A backup. A simp. That's not true. I think of him like a brother. She protested. I was done being polite. Spare me. I checked. You're older than him by 3 months, so unless you've got a kink for baby brothers, try again. She flinched. Didn't expect me to go that direct. Her face turned green. You don't have to be so cruel. Tears welled in her eyes again. One more word and she'd be sobbing on cue. You say you love his brother, but you enjoy Ethan's attention. Enjoy using him as a stand-in. They don't even look alike. Don't tell me you're just into the same face. I never asked him to love me, she whispered, finally crying. But you never pushed him away either. I said flatly. You fed him hope. You dangled yourself in front of him. Her tone sharpened. Sue, you may be married to him, but you can't define what Ethan and I have. If he knew how you're insulting me. So now we bring Ethan into it. Huh? A white lotus flower pulling out the big guns. Waiter. I smiled sweetly. Can I get a fresh coffee? This one's cold and kind of nauseating. She looked relieved. Like she'd won. That maybe I was backing off. You grew up with him, I said, sipping the new cup. You know how many times his father hit him? How often he ran away from home? His first award? His first cry? You know it all. Huh? She beamed proudly. Her message was clear. You're nothing. Luna, you married in. I've always been here. I didn't even blink. Of course you know. You picked Cameron, didn't you? Because he was the golden boy, top student. Grandpa's favorite. Ethan, the rebel, skipped class, got into fights, didn't care about grades. You chose the one you thought had a future. But Cameron left for research overseas and had zero interest in the family business. And Ethan, the one you overlooked, came back and built it into what it is now. You regret it. That's why you use excuses to cling to him again. She froze, speechless. I took a long sip. Should I keep going? I was furious. All those journal entries in his old school book, Ethan's Honest. Bleeding heart, and this girl toyed with it. Used it. She wasn't crying anymore. Her expression twisted. Margarita, if you want to change your fate, start by realizing you're not the chosen one. You made your move. Now live with the checkmate. I stood to leave. She snapped, grabbed the steaming cup the waiter had just placed, and flung the coffee straight at me. Chapter 23. The coffee wasn't even that hot. But my hair? Freshly styled. In a split second, all my elegance, grace, and composure? Gone. To outer space. I lunged at her, slapped her across the face. She grabbed my hair. We went at each other like wild animals. Half an hour later, I was quietly sitting in the police station. A few buttons on my shirt had been torn off. One earring was missing. She looked even worse, her pale face covered in clear finger marks. My rhinestone manicure had definitely not gone to waste. The police called Ethan to come down. I wasn't fazed in the slightest. I need to use the restroom, I told the officer with a sweet smile. The second I locked the bathroom stall door, I let out a low growl. Damn it. She had shoved me hard enough to slam my waist into the corner of a table, then clawed at my back. It was stinging like hell. I was this close to crying. What made me want to cry even more? I lost. Yes, me, lost. I didn't want to admit it, but I was not her match in a catfight. How humiliating. After about 2 minutes of silent, rage-filled cursing, I gathered myself and went to the mirror, touched up my makeup. No way was I going to let Ethan see me looking like a mess. When I came out, Ethan was already there. His face was stone cold as he stared at me. You got into a fight? He looked stunned. Of course not. I twitched a smile. Just a little disagreement. He looked from me to Margarita, and back. Little disagreement? I followed his gaze. Margarita's face had swollen scratch marks across one cheek. I could have sworn it wasn't that bad earlier. Was she allergic to pain or what? The tension around Ethan was suffocating. I lowered my head, saying nothing. Luna, I told you all that stuff so we could be honest with each other, not so you'd go out and pick a fight with someone else. He suddenly snapped. Excuse me? Did he just yell at me? She started it. I exploded. She's the one who threw coffee at me. She's got scratches all over her face. How am I supposed to explain that to my brother? He shot back, grabbing my hands and checking them over and over. Where are you hurt? Oh, now he was worried? Worried about his brother, or worried about her? Leave me alone! I was fuming. I couldn't stop thinking about that diary. All that heartache and devotion, written so poetically in a textbook. No less. And now? She cries a little, bats her eyes, and she's the one who's right? What a joke. She's your precious little white moonlight, right? You kept her photo, wrote love confessions in your school book. Now she sheds a few tears, and suddenly she's the victim. Go on. Go comfort her. Don't act fake with me. He was just as mad now. You read my journal? I opened my mouth to explain. You let me look. I stumbled on it by accident. And I only looked because I was worried about you being manipulated again. Ethan Gidge. Don't fight because of me. Margarita's voice trembled. I know. Gigi doesn't like me. It's okay. I'll go. She took a few teary steps. Anne. Down she went. Margarita. Ethan rushed over in a blur and caught her before she hit the ground. And me? I stood frozen, watching it all. He scooped her up like a scene out of a drama. Only then did he glance back at me. Come on, I'll drive both of you to the hospital. No, I don't need your movie investment. Just give her the Oscar now. I'm clearly not at her level. I stood there, fists clenched. Luna, what do you want from me? Take your little darling to the hospital already. I sneered. If you wait any longer, her injuries might heal themselves. He stared at me, jaw tight, then, with no other option, placed Margarita into the car. Still, he turned back and reached for me. Don't be like this. Just get checked. Make sure you didn't hurt your back or something. His voice had softened. The anger faded. But I couldn't help laughing. Soft for her. Careful with me. Always trying to balance the scale. I wasn't his unforgettable first love. Only when she was safe and tucked in did he remember me. Thanks. But no thanks. I drew in a long breath. Forced a smile. Ethan, you know what? You're pathetic. He froze. His lips parted slightly. Face blank with shock. You can't be cruel to her. So you end up cruel to yourself. I turned and walked away. I'm fine. Sorry. But I've got better things to do than third wheel your little love story. I've got a spa appointment. Bye. I grabbed my bag and left. Chapter 24. I packed my bags and went straight back to my dad's house. My mom asked why I came back so suddenly. We fought. I'm done. I locked myself in my room and refused to come out. He didn't message me. Not even one call that entire night. I scrolled endlessly on my phone until I saw her post. Margarita's Moments post. Thank you for always being there. The photo? Ethan talking to a doctor. The moment I saw that picture, I broke. It had to be from the pain. That's why I cried. So bad that when Nicole called, all she heard was me wailing. She didn't catch a single word. In the end, she came over and stayed the night with me. What now? What's your plan? She asked. I stayed silent. Sulking. You're not just gonna let it go, are you? That little B***TCH Margarita, ugh. I'm so mad. She even had the nerve to hit you. Nicole looked ready to go burn the hospital down. Forget it. I didn't cry because of her. I hugged my knees. Voice muffled. You're not telling me you actually fell for Ethan, did you? She paused, eyeing me, though. I wouldn't be surprised. He's exactly your type. You've liked that kind of guy since forever. I did not. I said, full denial mode. But my tears betrayed me. I buried myself under the covers and cried again. A while later, Nicole gently tugged on the blanket and whispered, Ethan's downstairs. Huh? I blinked. Downstairs. I just saw him. Don't know when he got here. She peeked out the window. I stayed silent. I didn't know what Ethan was thinking. You're not going to let him come up? Nicole asked. No, I don't want to see him. I was still furious. I didn't want to hear anything. What if he came to apologize? Ethan Yee. Coming to say sorry. That's a big deal. Too late. I walked over and slammed the window shut. Pulled the curtains. I want a divorce. Nicole gently patted my head and tried to talk me down. Don't be so rash. You didn't even get any money, divorcing like this? No man is worth a second heartbreak. Ethan's not the only rich one in the world. Nicole's jaw practically hit the floor. She knew better than to argue. Just curled up in the blankets with me, helping plot my next move. I fell asleep. In the middle of the night, Nicole was applying ointment to my back. I woke up from the pain. Where'd you get that? I mumbled. Ethan gave it to me, she said, pointing at an enormous bag of meds on the stool. He told me to make sure you use it. Why did you listen to him? I groaned. I'm seriously the clown between you two, Nicole muttered, grinding her teeth as she quietly, gently applied the medicine. Chapter 25. Early the next morning, Ethan knocked on the door. He's still here? I opened it with a smile and politely invited him in. He pulled out a file and handed it to me. My heart skipped a beat. Of course. He wants a divorce too. Figures. I was fuming inside. You like that courtyard house, right? I bought it. Go pick out furniture when you're free. I looked at the layout drawings, and for a second, I wavered. But then I remembered everything from yesterday. The humiliation, the pain. My heart went ice cold again. I gave him a bright smile and handed over my own file. Thanks. I've got a document for you to sign too. Mr. Yi. He took the divorce papers. The moment he saw what they were, his face darkened. What's the meaning of this? Nothing much. Just thought I'd help you out, so you and your dear first love cousin can finally be together. I'm not fighting over her. I'm not desperate. There are plenty of men in the world. He stood frozen, his face turning green with anger. That guy from last time? His voice shook. None of your business. So you used me and now you're done? You're tossing me aside like some game piece? Was all of this just a joke to you? Used him? Excuse me? Is he delusional? Sorry, but if we go to the civil office now, I can still make my afternoon date. Mr. Yi, shall we? You're really sure? Absolutely. He stared at me, silent for a long time, then sighed. Another day. I'm busy now. Then this afternoon. Not free. Tomorrow. Then. Also not free. I was speechless. Ethan, what's your deal? I'm flying to Europe. Business expansion. Won't be free for the next few months. You. But he didn't even respond. Just turned and walked away. Chapter 26. Ethan and I were getting divorced, just hadn't signed the official papers yet. Both families knew. I had no idea he was so busy. Too busy to get a divorce certificate? Whatever. I had more important things to worry about. Nicole and I were applying to study abroad in the US. Who needs men when we can chase careers? Men will come later. Nicole had a point. So I spent my days with her, buried in textbooks, filling out applications. I cut off all contact with Ethan. But lately, I hadn't been feeling well. Why are you throwing up so much? Are you pregnant? Nicole asked. The moment she said it, I froze. It had been 2 or 3 months since my last period. With the fighting, the divorce drama, and my naturally irregular cycle, I hadn't noticed. I bought a pregnancy test at the pharmacy. The second I saw the 2 red lines, I was stunned. SHT**. I thought about it all night. And in the end, I decided I was keeping the baby. You're sure? How are you going to raise a kid while studying abroad? Nicole asked, frowning. I've seen single moms handle it just fine. I grinned, hugging her. Besides, I've got you, haven't I? Modern women don't need a man, so while vomiting every day, I continued sending in applications. When I got my acceptance letter, I gathered up all the luxury bags I'd ever bought. Sold every single one. You're seriously selling this? It's a limited edition, Nicole gasped. I need tuition, rent, and baby formula. Darling, this bag doesn't feed a child. I sat down with a calculator, adding up everything I'd sold, bags, necklaces, my diamond ring, over 5 million. I was instantly in a good mood. That ring was worth 4 million? Ethan's loaded. Nicole was shocked. Auction piece. I thought it was some random antique from a flea market. If I'd known it was that expensive, I might have clung to him a little longer, gotten a few more flea market trinkets. My parents found out about the divorce and scolded me for days, saying I didn't know what was good for me. Then eventually, they stopped bothering. Chapter 27. I began my student life in the US as a pregnant woman, and I found myself thinking about Ethan. Every time I vomited so hard I ended up crying. Every time I felt the baby kick. Every night I lay in bed, sore and sleepless. Deep inside, I kept thinking, if only he were here, but maybe he didn't even want this child. And with that thought, I let out a long sigh, because it hit me. I really had fallen for him, and that sucked, because he didn't love me back, because we were already divorced. When I was 9 months along, I was walking with a male classmate on campus and ran into Margarita. I was stunned. She was too. You're pregnant? She stared at me, eyes fixed on my belly. Is it Ethan's? The guy beside her looked familiar. That's when it hit me. Ethan's older brother, Cameron Yee. Was Margarita doing this on purpose? I took a beat to steady myself, then smiled brightly. Thanks to you. Ethan and I divorced a long time ago. What? Amnesia kicking in? Margarita immediately tightened her grip on Cameron's sleeve. She was flustered. Don't talk nonsense. He dropped me off at the hospital and left right after. So Ethan left, but went where? Forget it, that was ancient history. Let me introduce you, my new boyfriend. I linked arms with my foreign classmate and beamed. Steven, the baby's father. Margarita's expression twisted several times. She couldn't seem to decide whether to look shocked, furious, or humiliated. Does he know? Cameron, who had been silent until now, suddenly asked, calm, cold. Does he need to know? I replied, we're divorced. Why would I still report to Ethan? If I'm not mistaken, you're still legally married, Cameron said, eyes falling on my belly. His tone held something he didn't say out loud. Your brother's been busy expanding his empire, been dragging out the divorce for years. I can't just wait around forever, right? The truth? I was scared. Scared Cameron would tell Ethan. Scared Ethan would find out this baby was his. He mentioned you in a call the other day, Cameron said. Mentioned me? Why? We hadn't seen each other in over half a year. He didn't finish the thought, just looked at me again, then turned and left with Margarita. Once they were gone, Steven looked totally confused. What were you guys talking about? I let out a huge sigh of relief. Thank God he didn't understand Chinese. Otherwise, I'd be done for. They said you're really handsome and want to help introduce you to some Chinese girls. He lit up with joy, clinging to my arm. Really? I'll send you all my best selfies so you can show them around. I love Chinese girls. I rolled my eyes and cursed silently. Idiot. Chapter 28. That night, Ethan called me. That was the first time he'd contacted me in months. Where are you? In the US. On campus? No. He went quiet for several seconds, then spoke in a low voice. I'm here for something and happened to pass by your school. If it's convenient. I held my breath, trying to keep my voice steady. It's not. Don't bother. My water had just broken. I was in excruciating pain. I heard your new boyfriend's a student? What can he give you? His tone was starting to spiral into frustration. I couldn't hold it back anymore and cried out in pain. Ethan clearly froze on the other end. What are you doing? His voice shook with anger. Can't you tell? On a date. Now get lost. Had I known childbirth hurt this much, I never would have done it. Ethan, this damned culprit. I wanted to tear him apart. And he was still asking what I was doing? I was furious. Luna, you. Before he could finish, I hung up. I couldn't take it anymore. The pain was unbearable. The doctor told me to hold on. My cervix was only 2 centimeters dilated. 2 centimeters? After hours of pain? Nicole was by my side, holding my phone, watching me anxiously. You really won't tell him? You look like you're in so much pain. I'm worried. Tell him what? I grimaced. He sent you Instagram messages. Let me read them. So I listened to Nicole and read them aloud while I was half fainting from the pain. Luna, we haven't finalized the paperwork. This is cheating within marriage. You'll get nothing in the divorce. What do you even see in him? Not talking. Huh? You really think I can't find out where you are? Hearing all that made everything hurt worse, my head included. He says he's coming to find you. He really seems to believe you're with someone else. Nicole murmured. Don't bother with him. After hours of labor without progress, I was practically lifeless and had to go in for surgery. My mom nearly fainted the moment she saw me. Weren't you here to study? How do you already have a baby? You, Mom. It hurts. All right. All right. Don't speak. Save your strength. Your dad and I will wait outside. I don't know how long the operation lasted, but when I was wheeled out, it was already dark. When I woke up, my mom was holding the baby. My dad, upon seeing me, looked grim, but when he saw the baby, he beamed. This little grandson's so fair and cute. My mom said, bringing him over. You can tell he's one of the old Sioux family. Look at that high forehead. Smart kid. My dad grinned. I looked at the wrinkled little face and couldn't see what was so cute about it. Mainly, I was in agony from the post-op pain and couldn't feel excited about anything. I used to think childbirth was simple. Once the baby was born, he'd run around in a few days, then sleep on his own, feed himself, go to school, and I wouldn't have to do anything. Reality was the complete opposite. Breastfeeding felt like I was being mauled. He woke every 2 hours, eat, poop, cry, like a death loop. I barely got any sleep. This wasn't a little angel, this was a tiny demon. 3 days into staying at the postpartum center, I was already depressed. During that time, I ignored all of Ethan's calls and messages. At 3 a.m., when I was once again woken by the little monster's cries, I held him through excruciating pain for half an hour. He still wouldn't stop crying. I broke down. While the night nurse soothed him, I went to the bathroom and sat on the toilet, sobbing like crazy. I'm so useless. I can't do this mom thing at all. I shouldn't have given birth on a whim. If he cries one more time, I swear I'll jump. The thought of never being able to raise him right left me utterly hopeless. I pulled out my phone, staring at Ethan's messages, ready to curse him out. And then, my phone rang. It was Ethan, tears still streaking my cheeks. I answered. Luna. His voice was hoarse, like he'd been drinking. Of course, I was breaking down. Raising a kid, he was out partying. I'd really brought this on myself. Talk. I snapped, holding back rage. He's with you? Me? Was he drunk ranting again? That's none of your business. We're divorced. I didn't sign the papers. He barked. You think I can't live without you? Doesn't matter anymore. He went quiet for a while. I thought he'd hang up, but instead, his voice trembled. Can we not get divorced? Whatever you want. I'll buy it. A house. A bag. I'll buy you everything. Just don't divorce me. I won't sign. No matter how many times you ask. He rambled on and on. I was honestly stunned. He didn't want a divorce? Wasn't he the one dreaming of riding off into the sunset with his white moonlight? Now he's clinging to me? Meanwhile, I was in a complete mental collapse. I had no time for this romantic drama. Are you done? I'm hanging up. What do I have to do to make you talk to me? He was seriously drunk. I'd never seen him like this. Didn't expect him to be so clingy when wasted. It's not that I don't want to talk. I just don't have the time. The night nurse had already knocked 3 times. That little demon, with his big lungs, was either screaming or eating. What the hell are you doing? Why won't you answer me? Do I have to call you big sis for you to talk to me? I sucked in a breath. What kind of trauma was he going through? He was a completely different person. The old him wouldn't even call me mommy, let alone big sis. Ethan, seriously, calm down. I really don't have time. Big sis. Big sis. I went numb all over. What the hell had gotten into him? Right then, the little devil outside couldn't take it anymore and went nuclear, crying at full blast. Suddenly, the other end of the line went dead quiet. You have a baby? My heart skipped. Yes, I'm in postpartum recovery. Mr. Yi, anything else? He didn't respond, even after I hung up. He didn't say another word. I sighed, went back to pick up the baby. The night nurse and I took turns calming him. By dawn, he finally went quiet. Chapter 29. I only got a bit of shut-eye after the baby finally fell asleep. And even in that brief moment, I had a dream. In it, I woke up to find the baby gone from the bed. His tiny blanket was on the windowsill. I crawled over and saw him lying in the flower bed downstairs. I sprinted down like a 100-meter dash. Scooped him up, his hands and feet were ice cold. He wasn't breathing. The moment I stepped onto the rooftop, someone shook me awake. Luna. He's here. I opened my eyes to see my mom. Who? Little Yi. Ethan? I was stunned. I grabbed my mom. Why is he here? I admit, I panicked. And I just had a nightmare. My face was still wet with tears. It had been 5 days since discharge. I hadn't showered or washed my hair. Still in pajamas. Looking like a total mess. I refused to let him see me like this. Be honest. Is the baby his? My mom asked in a hushed tone. Yes. I finally admitted. So make him leave. What if he tries to take custody? Are you dumb? You think you can handle this alone? The nurse said you barely slept again last night. Mom's heart breaks for you. Raising a child takes two. If he's here, maybe he still cares. You can't be stubborn forever. No matter what happens, the child is already born. Why should he get to skip the pain? Skip the work? My mom tried to reason with me, but I wasn't buying it. Ethan, a pampered prince who's never set foot in a kitchen, take care of a baby? Can't even imagine it. And then came the knock at the door. It's me. Can I come in? It was Ethan. My mom gave me a look, play nice. I didn't want to listen. When Ethan came in, he looked completely stunned. He just stood there, like he'd had one drink too many. See? Told you I was busy. At this point, I gave up the act. Let it all go. Whose kid is this? He stepped closer, pulled back the baby's blanket slightly, and stared for a long time. Not yours, I said, turning away. I didn't want to see him. All this pain I was in, it was all his fault. And now he has the nerve to ask me that? Not mine, he said, carefully covering the baby again, as if suppressing some emotion. If I remember right, you got pregnant before the divorce fight even started. So what? I can't see other people? You can do it, but I can't? I snapped. A flicker of emotion crossed his eyes. He paused for a long time, then suddenly sat next to me. I could smell the alcohol on him. How much did he drink? Due date was June 6th, the night you conceived. You were at my hotel on my business trip. You were in a rush. I didn't. How much longer are you going to lie to me? My heart skipped. Wasn't he drunk? Why is his memory so sharp? The baby's mine. Ethan Yi. But don't think for a second you'll take him from me, I said firmly. He gave me a soft smile, tears in his eyes. Who said anything about taking him? I let out a sigh of relief. I'm not leaving. I'll have the driver bring my things over. What? He's moving in now? In your dreams? I snapped. Did he have no shame at all? He reached out and patted my head. I need to wash up. Smell like alcohol. Gonna borrow the bathroom. He tugged off his tie and walked off to shower. I was stunned. 10 minutes later, he came out wearing my bathrobe. Hair's a mess. Face is dirty. This isn't like you, he said, picking up a towel to wipe my face. So what? Don't touch me. I dodged, but he pulled me over, giving me a look. What do you take me for? You just had a baby. I'm not that much of an animal. You. I was speechless. When he tried to brush my hair, I instantly refused, but he insisted. I sighed. It's really disgusting. I haven't washed it in a week. Greasy. Tangled. I was grossed out myself. Not disgusting, he said seriously. I almost believed him. He finished brushing my hair and went to the sink. If it's not disgusting, why wash your hands? See? He still thinks I'm gross. I felt depressed. I'm not disgusted. I just want to hold the baby, he said helplessly, pointing at the now wide-eyed little devil. The baby seemed fascinated by the drunk man. No crying. No fussing. Just staring wide-eyed. Baby, I'm your daddy, he whispered, gently picking him up. Who said that? I rolled my eyes. He did. He smiled, looking down at the baby. He's smiling. The same little devil who was wailing his lungs out an hour ago now had his eyes curved into happy crescents. The sight was warm and annoying. Men are all unreliable. This little thing already siding with the dog man. A pair of little traitors. But even though I was mad, seeing the baby smile made me cry. Ethan was still playing with the baby when he noticed. What's wrong? He walked over, baby in arms, and lowered his voice. Nothing, I said, tears falling for no reason. Maybe it was the suffering from pregnancy, the unbearable pain of childbirth, the crushing exhaustion of raising a baby. And then he showed up, and the baby suddenly behaved. It was like light cutting through my hopeless life. Too blinding, I cried. If it's nothing, then why cry? He asked again. It's my emo hour, not allowed? I pulled the blanket over my head and sobbed inside. It got quiet outside the blanket. Then the nurse came in and carried the baby out. I thought Ethan had left too, but when I peeked out, he was still there, sitting quietly at the bedside, staring right at me. So why didn't you tell me earlier? Tell you so you could make me get rid of it? I shot back. His expression darkened. You really think I'd make the mother of my child get an abortion? You have so many women. If you want a kid, there's a line of people ready to give birth for you. His face turned even darker. He took a long breath and said softly, I've never been with anyone else but you. Never? I was shocked. Thinking back to that night, his performance was not beginner level. You expect me to believe that? He lowered his head, eyes fixed on mine, and whispered, have a heart. After that night, I was in so much pain I couldn't sleep. My heart skipped again, so he couldn't sleep, and decided to keep me awake too? Ethan, do you have any shame? Sometimes. It's optional, he said as he cupped my face and kissed me. I was caught completely off guard. He held me tightly, his kisses gentle and persistent. It's my fault. I came too late, he whispered over and over. In his arms, I found myself melting into his warmth. All the promises to stay strong, to ignore him, gone. It felt like everything was unraveling, spiraling out of control. I no longer knew what I was doing. Chapter 30. Ethan stayed with me every day. He changed the baby's diapers, soothed the baby to sleep, and after that, kept me company. But I felt conflicted. My mom tried to comfort me. Now that Ethan has stopped going to work and is focusing on staying with you and taking care of the baby, your hardship has finally paid off. You can tell he still likes you. Maybe give it another try. No matter how she tried to convince me, there was always a knot in my heart. Sometimes I'd look forward to the days he stayed here. Other times I'd worry it was all an illusion, that he'd be gone the moment someone else texted him. So I remained distant. When the maternity nurse brought over the baby, Ethan Yee immediately took the baby in his arms. Go prepare the formula. Let Luna get some rest. Breastfeeding is better for the baby. Yes, it helps build stronger immunity. Both my mom and the nurse said at the same time. She's not in a good state right now. She needs to rest more. He insisted. The baby isn't everything. She's more important. He shut the door, leaving my mom and the nurse outside, and took care of both me and the baby himself. I watched him change diapers skillfully, then make formula, soothe the baby, feed him. From being clumsy at first to now doing everything smoothly. After calming the baby, he came over to massage my legs, encouraging me to move more. Aren't you tired? I asked. I had no idea where he got the energy from. Honestly, he hadn't slept much all week. The dark circles under his eyes were getting worse. I'm not tired. He kept massaging. Well, I am. He paused for a second, then rest. I'm right here. What's wrong? He asked, a little panicked when he saw me suddenly tearing up. I don't even know why I had a baby, I said, lying there, calmly crying. He bent down and held me for a long time. It's my fault. We won't have any more, okay? Any more? Is there even a future for us? I think I might be dealing with postpartum depression. Chapter 31. Later, my mom told me that Margarita had completely broken up with Cameron because he got engaged. And the bride wasn't her. That older brother of his is really ruthless. The girl went all the way abroad for him, and he still got engaged to someone else. At least Ethan is reliable. These days, I've seen him handle everything with the baby and take care of you. He's genuinely good to you. I sank into a wave of sadness. Reliable? Really? Now that Margarita had no shot with Cameron Yee, I started to dread she might come back for Ethan, while Ethan was preparing formula. I held the baby, but the moment he landed in my arms, he started bawling uncontrollably. No matter what I did, I couldn't calm him down. I suddenly felt so useless. Just take the baby, I said. I won't fight you for him. You're better at this than me. He doesn't even want breast milk anymore. It's like I have no purpose. Ethan didn't say a word. He just kept massaging my legs gently. Rest, okay? Don't overthink. Be good. I'm serious. Now that Margarita's finally broken up with your brother, isn't this your big chance? He froze. Don't bring her up. She has nothing to do with me. Don't worry about me. What if I stay like this forever? What if I never get better? I sighed. They say postpartum depression is hard to recover from. My emotions spun out so easily. I didn't know how, or if, I could heal. Why do you keep pushing me away? He suddenly exploded with emotion. The always calm Ethan, his eyes were red. I don't want anyone's pity. I can live just fine on my own. Of course you can, he said, helping me fix my clothes, muttering. You could turn on me the very next day after getting what you want. You could go 10-15 days without a word unless you needed money. You carried my child and still laughed and joked with another man while I lay awake at night alone. You see? You really can live just fine without me. But I can't. I flew to the US once a week just to see you, to ask about you in secret. And every time, what I heard was you had another guy. So what am I to you, Luna? Tell me, what the hell am I? He poured it all out, then just sat by the bed, silently crying. I was stunned. Wasn't she the one you liked? I cried too. I was pregnant, fighting her, and I was in so much pain that day. And what did you do? You held her and took her to the hospital. Yes. I love money. You thought I loved your money. I sniffled. Then why the hell did I divorce someone as rich as you? Was I insane? I'm sorry. He collected himself and pulled me into a hug, kissing me gently. I admit I had feelings for her once, but that was in high school. I can't even tell if it was real or just habit. But after I met you, no one else mattered anymore. But every time you sweet-talked me, you followed it up by asking me to buy things. I couldn't tell if you loved me or were just using me as your wallet. I was angry, and I did a lot of things that hurt you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't cry. It kills me to see you like this. He kissed me for a long time, until the baby woke up crying. Only then did he reluctantly pull away and go soothe him. Let's be good to each other from now on, okay? My heart raced. My mind was a mess. He kept staying with me, taking care of the baby. Every night, he slept next to me, one arm around the baby, the other holding my hand. A whole month passed like that. I slowly got better. The baby cried less, got sick less often. Life suddenly felt okay again. After my postpartum confinement period ended, he'd push the stroller every day, take me to the park, and talk with me endlessly. He never seemed to get tired. To say I wasn't touched would be a lie. But one day, during a walk in the park, we ran into Margarita. No, more like, she was clearly waiting for us. In that moment, I felt super annoyed and just wanted to leave. You two talk, I said. But Ethan grabbed my hand, stopping me. Where are you going? The baby's heavy. You'll wear yourself out. He's only 10 pounds. He was seriously underestimating me. You just finished confinement. The doctor said no heavy lifting, he said as he picked up the baby and cradled him. Ethan brought her. Margarita looked stunned, her face darkening. Your brother's engaged to someone else. She started crying. Yeah, I know, Ethan replied calmly. I stood awkwardly on the side. Can you? No. Ethan cut her off without hesitation. Sorry. I've got a kid to take care of. If there's nothing else, please don't contact me again. Why? Margarita's face turned pale. You're going to ignore me too? Ethan gave her a cold glance. You were my brother's girlfriend. Helping you was out of respect for him. But now? You're nothing to me. His tone was ice cold. Margarita was shaking with rage. Ethan brought her. She sobbed breathlessly. Even I started to feel a little sorry for her. Don't call me that ever again. Ethan shot her another cold look. Why not? My wife doesn't like it, he said, putting his arm around me. Me, nice move. Shifting the blame. Without giving Margarita any more time, Ethan walked away holding the baby and leading me by the hand. Honestly, Margarita was pretty pitiful. She chased Cameron for years, even followed him to the US, only for him to marry someone else. You don't have to put on a show for me. After all, you two knew each other. I sighed, looking at Ethan. I'm not acting. I'm just whipped. He said lazily. Nonsense. When did I ever control you? I retorted, before realizing what I said. And when did I say I'd remarry you? So we're still not getting back together? He sighed. I'll do whatever you say. Isn't that enough? Nope. Then don't go back on your word. Laughs no way. Luna. Never back down. Chapter 32. 5 months later. Ethan called to say he was out on business and would be home late. Fine by me. I had classes anyway. But when I got home, my mom told me she'd taken the baby over to her place. Why didn't you tell me earlier? It was a last-minute decision. Just relax for a couple of days. Relax? Yeah, right. As soon as I turned on the light, I saw rose petals scattered across the floor by the door. A strange feeling hit me, and my heart started racing. I followed the trail of roses all the way to the bedroom. Inside, Ethan Yee was sitting on the sofa, wearing a robe, hair dripping wet like he'd just showered, completely at ease. What are you doing? He gave me a lazy glance. Not obvious? It's my birthday today. What? Your birthday? I'd completely forgotten. Want me to order a cake? You forgot. What cake? I'll definitely remember next time. I started making promises. Yeah, and then? He walked slowly toward me, clearly enjoying my bluff. Cook you some longevity noodles? I took 2 steps back, totally losing face. What are you backing away for? He chuckled. I'm not just, but now that he was so close, I could clearly see his jawline, his Adam's apple, and further down, I couldn't help but swallow. You didn't even make noodles. And you're already hungry? He laughed. No. I backed up again, flustered. Truthfully, in these 6 months, apart from a few kisses, we hadn't done anything, even sharing a bed. We were so worn out from the baby. Neither of us had the energy. But now, with the mood building, my heart was racing like mad. Really? He took my hand and placed it on his abs. Doesn't seem like it. I really wanted to stay calm. Don't hold back. He leaned closer. You know I always obey you unconditionally. Sister. That sister, older woman, made my blood pressure spike. I couldn't even think straight. Ethan. Didn't you say I'm only a few days older than you? I like it. That was it. Every wall in my heart collapsed. Faced with a hot husband and all those abs, how could I say no? I leaned in and gave him a kiss on the cheek. He smiled, totally pleased. You like it when I call you that? He whispered and kissed me. Can you just shut up? My heart was beating too fast. Sure. Anything for sister. He laughed freely. I was going insane. In the middle of everything, he turned his face. Will you take responsibility tomorrow morning? Me? Of course I will. I was high on the moment. He could have asked anything and I'd have said yes. Then will you remarry me? This sneaky man, using this to trap me? I looked at those 8-pack abs and nodded tearfully. This time, he didn't wait. He kissed me again and took full control. Next morning, I couldn't even get out of bed, but he was already up, playing a recording for me. You promised last night. No take-backs. Hearing my own confession in the recording, I cursed myself for being careless. I'd been played. Ethan, you called me husband last night. What? Wake up and deny it all? I blushed furiously. Well, in that case, I don't mind offering myself to you again and again. Enough. Stop talking. He looked at me meaningfully. Want me to go mute? Sister, your tastes are really something. Ethan. Say husband. Husband. Baby. He leaned in to kiss me. I love you. And so we kept putting off getting out of bed until my mom came home with the baby that afternoon. Over dinner, my mom asked me quietly, did you two remarry? Probably not. I felt uncertain. Exactly. You went through pregnancy and childbirth alone. He doesn't deserve an easy pass. She huffed. Just then, Ethan glanced over, and my mom immediately shut up. He seemed to be thinking something, then walked over. Mom, remember that limited edition Hermes you mentioned last time? I had someone get it for you. It'll be delivered this afternoon. Oh, my son-in-law is the best. Mom beamed. So, about me and Luna, Ethan said meaningfully. Luna, your baby's father works so hard making money. Don't make trouble, okay? As for the remarriage, what remarriage? You never divorced. Let's not bring it up. Me, Mom, didn't you just say? I didn't say anything. She denied instantly. Is the bag coming today? It's on its way now, Ethan said smugly, casting me a triumphant look. My mom didn't even look back. She practically sprinted to wait at the door. Ethan came over, wrapped his arms around my waist, rested his chin on my forehead. Still resisting? You only know how to bribe my mom. Why don't you bribe me? I said, totally done with him. Do I need money to bribe you? He smirked. Aren't I enough? Not enough. What I want is money. Are you dumb? If you've got me, then all my money is yours. For real? When have I ever lied to you? You've lied plenty. I tried to push him away, but he grinned wickedly. Except last night. The audacity. He told me he'd go to sleep at 1 a.m. and kept repeating that at 3 a.m. too. Never even changed the script. That wasn't a lie. That was a white lie. Get out! Sister, get lost. Don't call me that. Sister, you're so annoying. When are you going on a business trip? He was driving me nuts. You want me gone? What's that supposed to mean? He sulked. Go earn money and raise our kid. What else? No need. Even if we have 10 more. I've got it covered. Rich people. Man. 2 years later, I stormed into his office and slammed a pregnancy test on his desk. Ethan, explain this. Didn't you say no more babies? He stared at the test with serious eyes, holding it between those long fingers. Thinking, my birthday? He asked. How would I know? I was speechless. As a gift. I didn't do anything, he said with a helpless smile. My heart skipped a beat. This man, no shame. Either way, I don't want to have another one. He looked up and coaxed me with a grin. Next life then, I'll give you 10 kids. Baby. Yeah right, I don't buy that. I swore I wouldn't have another. But that jerk of a man bought me a luxury bag, a whole villa, and sweet-talked me all night. I didn't want to have another, but he gave me too much. So fine, just one more. 2 weeks later. I hadn't lost it, someone else had. Luna, no more third baby. Please, I can't live like a widower for another year. He whined, leaning against the door. Pitiful, self-inflicted, I said flatly, slamming the door. He stuck his hand in to stop it. Not asking for anything. Can I just sleep next to you? No, you'll keep me up. He started to get cranky. Not letting your husband sleep in the bedroom? This is emotional abuse. Wanna try for a third baby then? I teased. Don't even think about it. He snapped and stormed off to the guest room, blanket in arms. I heard some say, he got a vasectomy the next day. Serves him right.